Welcome to Hairdresser Hype Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Pelfini, owner of Balancio Salon in San Rafael, California. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Hairdresser Hype. I am your host, Nina Pelfini. I am the owner and creator of Balancio Salon in San Rafael, California. It's also in the Bay Area. For those of you who are curious where San Rafael is, it's a cute, small little town I grew up in, and most people don't even know it exists. It's in Marin County. Anyway, I am here to talk about all things hairdresser hype. So what does that mean? This is my first episode. So I just want to talk a little bit about why I decided to do this and who I am, and allow you all to get to know me a little bit better, because this isn't easy for me to do. I have wanted to do this for a while, but really didn't feel like I knew how. And here we are. So it's happening. And what is hairdresser hype to me? So growing up, I had a very strong maternal Italian American influence. I was raised by Italian immigrants. My great-grandmother, she came over here from Italy, an arranged marriage, 17. She was pregnant, barely knew her husband, and her mom felt that it was more important to send her daughter to America to live out her dreams for her future generations than it was to be with her own kid. So, that was something that was an undertone growing up. My great-grandmother was like one of my best friends. We had such an amazing relationship. I knew her. I was fortunate enough to know her until I was in my 20s, which most people can't even say that about their grandparents. So having her, she lived in this beautiful house in North Beach in San Francisco. She came here. My great-grandfather was a fisherman and my great-grandmother was a seamstress. They knew no one. They didn't speak English, but they were determined to have a better life for themselves and give a better life to their children and their children's children. And so my grandmother was also a very big influence in my life. And I was unfortunate to have lost her this last year. And it has been a really challenging time in my life, because I don't think I even allowed myself to admit how big of a part of my life she truly was. I mean, consciously I knew it, whenever my parents would go, on date night, or they would go to parties, we would always go to my grandparents' house, and, she would take us shopping. She would, take my girl cousins and I out in summer, and we'd go to movies and we'd get our nails done. And it was just such a fun time going and being at Nani's house, and something I really will forever cherish. But really, she taught me so much more than that. She was an artist. She was somebody who really took pride in what she did. And she really, I think, wanted to show us by example how to be an amazing wife, an amazing mother. And, she had a challenging childhood growing up in North Beach with immigrant parents. She lived through the Depression, and she spoke very openly about how hard that was for her and what they had to do as a family to be able to get through that time. They didn't have a lot of money. They really worked hard to get to where they were. And so growing up, my grandma never allowed us to forget who we are and where we came from. So growing up, I had a very strong, and still do, Italian mother who's very opinionated, driven, motivated. She always pushed the envelope on being a mom and being a wife. And she wasn't, so stuck on doing everything perfectly. She was more motivated and driven to show us that you could have and do and be anything you wanted to be. And that was something that I felt like was a really great example for me to have as a woman, especially now because I have a daughter of my own and I want to show her all those same qualities and values that I was given as a kid. So, growing up with this amazing woman leadership family, if you will, really did shape me to be who I am. And I just felt like that was such an important part of my upbringing that really is a lot about who I am today. So here I am a salon owner. I've been doing hair for 20 years. And over the years, I mean, I didn't even know I wanted to be a hairdresser back when I started. I really just loved hair and fashion. And my grandma, she always wore the most beautiful outfits, and her hair and her makeup was always perfect. And she was always so put together. And she just looked like this beacon of light and hope. And I just admired how she showed up when she went to the grocery store. And, we always joke about how she would never answer the door if she wasn't perfectly put together for her own self. I mean, she didn't care about, the plumber when he came over and what he thought of her. She cared how she felt when she had the plumber come over to help her with whatever it was. So, it's kind of a mind shift when you think about that. It's not like what we do is about being shallow and how we show ourselves to the world. It's not look at me, it's how do I feel? And for me, when I have my hair done and my makeup is done right and I feel my best, I show up differently. I show up like I am ready to take on the world. I feel strong. I feel powerful. I feel like nothing can get in my way. And that is something that I wish other women could feel that feeling. And not everybody does. I mean, do you always feel that way? Is that something that you wish you felt? I mean, I can tell you the amount of hundreds of women that have sat in my chair that didn't always feel that way. And it truly hurts my heart that they've lived 20, 30, 40 years without feeling what it's like to be in their power and to go out into the world feeling and looking their best. It doesn't come naturally to everybody. And to my grandma, I am so proud that it did come naturally to her. That was her generation. That was how she grew up. So it was just a way of life for her. And I got to see that as normal. And when I started doing hair and makeup on myself, that was something that I emulated and I looked up to, and I wanted to be like her, and I wanted to feel amazing when I went to the grocery store and had a chat with the cashier and feel like I was presenting myself the way that I saw myself on the inside, and that I had that feeling that I had on the inside showcased on the outside. So I genuinely want every woman to win and to feel like they are living their best life. And that if they're not, there's a way and an answer to get there. And I may not know everything. And I have only been doing hair for 20 years. But what I've learned in those 20 years is how to connect with women and to collaborate with them about what they want to showcase on the outside, and then to allow them to leave my chair and for them to know that I'm rooting for them, because I truly feel like that is one of the most valuable things to have when you walk out into the world. So here we are, hairdresser hype. It means so many things. It's the hype behind hair. So many people just say, it's just hair. Oh, you just do hair. But that's one piece of the hype. But then the other piece of the hype is being the woman who wants other women to succeed and having the childhood that I had and the women supporting me that I had, and knowing that not everybody has those women in their corner, and knowing that I am that person for so many women that don't have it that now can. And it's easy to have support, if you will, for things that you didn't know you needed. So if you are someone who wishes you had someone in your corner, someone supporting you, someone willing to push you out of your comfort zone, and that knows, hey, you've told me this goal that you've set for yourself and you know it's going to be hard, there's accountability in talking with others about what you're trying to do. And it's important to have someone to keep you honest, because let's be real, like, how many of you have started a diet and you were so convinced that you were going to do the thing, you were going to track your macros, you were going to weigh, you were going to measure? I've done it. I've done every diet there is. But it doesn't mean anything unless you have that person holding you accountable and helping you follow through with what you said. Because even if you're true to your word, which I truly am, it's really hard. Times get tough and you doubt yourself. We all do. So it's important that you feel like you have that hype girl that is rooting for you, that isn't going to allow you to fall back on your laurels and just, it's good enough. Because what does that even mean? I was told at a very young age, there's no such thing as good enough, because we get one life. This is your one shot. This is not a practice round. So if you're going to do it all the way. You know, my dad taught me, don't half ass anything, whole ass everything. Otherwise, don't even bother, because the only person that you're disappointed with is yourself. And all that does is create more doubt, and it causes you to go back and shrink into your little hole and then not do anything at all. And so it's taken a really long time for me to learn that I have something to offer and that I do have a light that I think is worth shining, like everybody does. And it just takes the right person to help you see the light that maybe you can't. So for you, if you guys want to know more and you want to check me out, I'm on www.salonbalancio.com. You can find me at my salon. I'm so here for my team and wanting to see them grow. And everything that we do as a collaborative is for women to grow and to win. And I'm here to create a movement of women who are willing to do just that. And they're unstoppable. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this journey with me and you're ready to go for the ride, because I may not know exactly what we're doing and where we're going, but I'm sure excited to try and share with you along the process. So, with that, thank you so much for being here. You know where to find me. And until the next one, I'll see y'all soon.